How's it going, everyone? 2023 and really the last few years have been incredible years for JRPG fans, and 2024, holy hell, does it look like it's gonna be an absolute banner year if you are a fan of Japanese RPGs. There are so many major titles coming out, and in this video, I want to highlight some of the top PlayStation 4 and 5 upcoming JRPGs. A lot of titles to get into, so let's get right into it, and let's start things off with a long-anticipated title, Granblue Fantasy Relink. I remember following this game years and years ago, and it's nice to see that the game will finally be coming out on January the 31st. A grand adventure in the skies awaits. Form a party of 4 from a diverse roster of Skyfarers and slash or shoot or hex your way to victory against treacherous foes in this action RPG. Take on quests solo or with the help of others in up to 4-player cooperative play. Granblue Fantasy isn't a franchise that has generated a lot of attention over here stateside. However, with the release of Granblue Fantasy Versus and Versus Rising coming out in December, there has been some anticipation and some attention building, and I think with Relink coming out, if the game delivers, it's just going to be taken to overdrive. Granblue Fantasy takes place in the Sky Realm, a world where myriad islands afloat in a great blue expanse. Take your role as a captain of a skyfaring crew joined by a scrappy little dragon and a young girl with mysterious powers. Together you'll sail with a colorful cast of crewmates including kings and misfits alike. Gameplay has you engage in real-time combat with a party of 4 in a character action RPG. Choose from a diverse roster of Skyfarers, each with their own unique weapons, skills, and combat styles, and teamwork makes the dream work with party-based mechanics such as link attacks and chain bursts to help you crush your foes in spectacular fashion. Again, long anticipated. Remember, this game has been in development for quite a while, and in fact, Platinum Games were helping in the development of the game initially. SaGa took completely over, and now we'll finally be seeing the release of the game on January 31st. Next up, a major release in a long-running franchise, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. 2 larger-than-life heroes, Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu, are brought together by the hand of fate, or perhaps something more sinister. Live it up in Japan and explore all that Hawaii has to offer in an RPG adventure so big it spans the Pacific. Like a Dragon and the RGG titles have been gaining a lot of attention after the success of Yakuza Like a Dragon, and now we have the latest in the long-running franchise, and with the return of Kazuma Kiryu, obviously this is going to have a lot of attention. Experience one-of-a-kind combat with dynamic, fast-paced RPG battles where the battlefield becomes your weapon and anything goes. Adapt your party skills to the situation with outlandish jobs and customizations to strategically subdue enemies with over-the-top moves. An infinite adventure. Live it up in Japan and explore all that Hawaii has to offer in an adventure so big it spans the Pacific. Unforgettable moments await at every step, and an epic emotional drama. I'm sure expect a great narrative, a ton of content if you played Yakuza Like a Dragon. This is a game that's going to keep you busy for quite a while, so clear up a couple weekends. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth drops on January 26th. Next up, another much anticipated release, Persona 3 Reload. We have a ground-up remake of Persona 3, which is an all-time classic on the PlayStation 2. If you look up lists of the best PS2 games of all time, you're damn right Persona 3 is going to rank very highly among those lists. Dive into the dark hour and awaken the depths of your heart. Persona 3 Reload is a captivating reimagining of the genre-defining RPG reborn for the modern era with cutting-edge graphics and gameplay to boot. Experience the pivotal game of the Persona series, faithfully remade with cutting-edge graphics, modernized quality of life features, and signature stylish UI. Fully immerse yourself in an emotional, gripping journey with new scenes, character interactions, and additional voiceover, and choose how to meaningfully spend each day through various activities, from exploring the port island to forging genuine bonds with beloved characters. Build and command your optimal team to take down otherworldly shadows and climb closer to the truth. Persona 3 Reload will be dropping on February the 2nd. Next up, we have the release of The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 on PlayStation 5. Cold Steel 3 and 4 have been available on a plethora of other platforms, but now they will be seeing upgraded releases on PlayStation 5. Obviously, do not jump into Cold Steel 3 and 4. There's some debate on how to tackle the Legend of Heroes titles. Generally speaking, most people say you gotta play the Sky Trilogy first, then the Crossbell arc, and then you can jump into Cold Steel with Cold Steel 1, work your way up to Cold Steel 4. The issue with that rhetoric is if you're a PlayStation only person, the Sky Trilogy is not available on PlayStation, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but the games are available on lower end PCs, so you can check it out that way. Otherwise, I think it's fine to play the Cold Steel games without playing the other ones, and Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 are games that follow up Cold Steel 1 and 2, and the story gets pretty wild with Cold Steel 3 and 4. Might not be for everyone with all the narrative decisions that they make, but they're still great games that I highly recommend you to play. And just keep in mind, if you're just jumping into Cold Steel 1 is more of a set-the-table kind of game, but it's still great, especially the latter half of the game, and Cold Steel 2 is incredible. Cold Steel 3 and 4 very good as well, and they will be coming to PS5 on February 16th. Next up, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Of course, this is probably the most anticipated JRPG for all of 2024, the follow-up to the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and there's already so many questions and so much uncertainty attached as far as where this story is gonna go. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake was great, but let's just say it wasn't a complete one-to-one remake of what was in the original Final Fantasy VII. Obviously, it had a lot of the iconic moments, and expect that with Rebirth as well. And given that we know where this game is gonna head to, how that ending of Rebirth is really going to take shape, that is one of the burning questions that we do have. We already saw that Vincent was in the trailer. Vincent doesn't look to be a playable character, more akin to something like Red 13 from the remake, but expect a much bigger world with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a sizable amount of content, and it's going to be an exciting one, and it will be very interesting to see how the story unfolds with FF7 Rebirth. It comes to PlayStation 5 as a timed exclusive on February 29th. Next up, we have Atlus and Vanillaware's latest title, the tactical RPG in Unicorn Overlord. Very excited that Vanillaware is finally releasing their next game. They do incredible work. From the masterminds that brought 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and Odin Sphere, Atlus and Vanillaware present the rebirth of tactical fantasy RPG Fight Against Fate and embark on a royal adventure to regain your reign alongside trustworthy allies. Unicorn Overload combines the timeless tactical RPG genre with overworld exploration and innovative battle system for a unique epic fantasy experience in the iconic Vanillaware style. They note, traverse a vibrant world, assemble units, and direct them into exquisitely animated battles, perform heroic deeds, and grow renowned throughout the 5 nations, and cultivate a grand army with over 60 unique characters from humans and elves to massive beasts and heavenly angels. The game is scheduled for a release on March 8th. Next up, we have another title that's been in development for quite a while, finally seeing its release in April of next year, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Some of you guys may have played the prequel title, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, which sets the table for this game. 100 Heroes is designed to bring players a modern take on a classic JRPG experience. Get ready to lead 100 plus playable characters through a war-torn world only you can save. Expect an expansive JRPG with a deep roster of characters, a tapestry of nations with diverse cultures and values. By dint of sword and way of magic objects known as rune lenses, the land's history has been shaped by the alliances and aggressions of humans, beastmen, elves, and desert people who live there. The Empire is scouring the continent for an artifact that will expand their power even further. It is on one such expedition, a young and gifted Imperial officer and a boy from a remote village meet each other and become friends. And obviously throughout the game, you'll meet a bunch of different characters, a deep roster of characters with a lot of content. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes will be released at $49.99, and it will be available on April the 23rd. I bring up the price with this one because there has been a little bit of debate as far as the price point, but given that this is going to be an expansive JRPG with a ton of content, I don't think it's that crazy. Next up, we have the Legend of Legacy HD Remastered. RPG fans rejoice as the classic fantasy of Legend of Legacy is seeing a complete HD remastering and a debut on modern platforms. Many have come seeking riches, glory, and legendary treasure, but in the end, they all vanish, swallowed up by the darkness. None have seen into the heart of the island, now awakened from its eternal slumber, the mythical land known as Avalon. It's an HD remaster featuring beautifully improved graphics and image quality. The new guidebook function makes it easy for newcomers to get started, and the addition of detailed functions allow all players intuitive gameplay options and ease of access. Explore a world map bursting with storybook charm. When characters move, the surrounding terrain springs to life as well, and the game features 7 main characters and limitless adventures as well. Legend of Legacy HD Remastered is scheduled for release sometime in 2024, the early portion of 2024. Next up, we have the next title title in the Legend of Heroes franchise, Trails Through Daybreak, and this is a major one given that this is starting the next arc for Legend of Heroes stateside, and really, this is seen as the kickoff point for the second half of Legend of Heroes, which is just insane to think about given that up until this point you have, I don't know, hundreds upon hundreds of hours of content. Maybe some people have, even with all the Legend of Heroes titles, spent over 1,000 hours across all of the games. That's not a stretch whatsoever, and we're just getting to the halfway point with a new arc, but you will have a new cast of characters being introduced. Still, with this one, I would recommend you to play the available games. Play through Cold Steel, play Trails into Reverie, etc., etc., but Trails Through Daybreak is going to be an exciting start for a new arc of Legend of Heroes, and it is scheduled to be released sometime in the midway point of 2024. Next up, we have the Final Fantasy XVI DLC. Now, not much is known about the FF16 DLC at this stage of the game, but we do know that it's going to feature new content and new story-driven content for Final Fantasy XVI as a whole, expanding on the world. Final Fantasy XVI, I thought, was a tremendous release. Obviously, not everyone was crazy about the super action-heavy oriented gameplay, but I thought it was a blast to play through and super fast-paced. But Final Fantasy XVI's DLC scheduled for release sometime in 2024. Next up, we have Metaphor ReFantazio. This is a game that really took a lot of people by surprise when it was announced earlier this year. It's a game that was formerly known as Project Ray Fantasy, an RPG developed by Studio Zero and published by Atlas. Write your destiny and rise above fear as you step into a fantasy world unlike anything you've seen before. Fraught with unsettling mystery, the kingdom stands on a precipice. Now you must embark on a journey overcoming obstacles and forging bonds with friends. From the creative minds behind the Persona series, Metaphor ReFantazio marks Atlas's first ever full-scale fantasy RPG. Brought to you by director Katsura Hashino, Metaphor ReFantazio is scheduled for a release sometime in 2024. Next up, we have some classic JRPGs making a comeback with Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars. Now, Suikoden 2 in particular, if you wanted a copy on the PlayStation 1 to play this game, yeah, good luck spending an arm and a leg, but now you're going to be able to get it readily available on all major platforms in 2024 with this HD Remastered release from Konami. With this HD remaster, you've got all background illustrations that have been upgraded to HD, updated effects breathe new life into the pixel art animation, new environmental sounds effects to immerse yourself in a fantasy world. Battle sound effects are also now HD and add a new level of realism, newly added autosave, battle fast forward, and a conversation log as well. It's just going to be nice to have these games readily available on all major platforms, as Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered will be dropping sometime in 2024. Next up, we have a new title in the SaGa franchise. SaGa Emerald Beyond will be coming sometime in early 2024. The latest standalone entry in the SaGa franchise, SaGa Emerald Beyond, brings together the very best elements of the beloved series to offer each player their own unique gameplay experience. Make use of glimmers and combos in battle, meet a diverse cast of races including monsters, mechs, and vampires, and experience your very own story created through your choices and actions. You'll be able to travel to 17 unique worlds, discover the completely different cultures and landscapes throughout, ranging from a densely developed forest of skyscrapers and a green and luscious habitat covered in plain life to a world governed by 5 witches, a lot to get into, and an eclectic cast of protagonists as well with 6 leading characters. SaGa Emerald Beyond is scheduled for release sometime in early 2024. Next up, we have the latest entry in one of the most beloved JRPG franchise, Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate. Now, this game will be getting a simultaneous worldwide release, and we still don't know much about it. However, we do know that DQ12: The Flames of Fate will feature more of a dark and mature story and force players to make various decisions to determine their way of life. The series' traditional command battles will also be revamped, but fans of the series should still be able to enjoy it without discomfort. And the game will be running on Unreal Engine 5, so should be pretty visually pleasing. We'll see how it turns out. Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate will hopefully be dropping sometime in 2024. And that's not all as far as Dragon Quest is concerned. Dragon Quest III is also getting a full 2D HD remake. The 2D HD games have looked incredible, and now we're gonna have it with Dragon Quest III. And it was noted that by recreating Dragon Quest III in a HD 2D style, everyone will have the chance to experience this game through fresh eyes, from adults who played the original back when it was first released to newcomers picking it up for the first time, and they are aiming for a simultaneous worldwide release on home consoles as well. Hopefully the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake will be dropping sometime in 2024. And finally, we have Akira Toriyama's Sandland getting a video game dubbed Sandland. Sandland is an action RPG developed by ILCA and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Dive into a desert world where both humans and demons suffer from an extreme water shortage and plays a variety of characters. In this action RPG, you take on the role of the main character, lead your company of heroic misfits, and explore the legendary world of Sandland developed by the creator of Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump, Akira Toriyama. Use your tact and imagination to develop tanks and other vehicles for your adventures, utilizing a wide array of part combinations. Build up your base of operations into a thriving city with the help of the people you meet along the way in a vast desert. Sandland is scheduled for release sometime in 2024, and that is gonna do it for me. Again, you look at the entire lineup of 2024 and bear in mind that more games are gonna get announced. Sure, a title here or there might get delayed, but more games are gonna get announced. JRPGs in the year of 2024 is gonna be absolutely insane, especially when you look at the beginning of the year. You're kicking things off with Persona 3 Reload, Granblue Fantasy Relink, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, all in the first 2 months of the year. That is staggering, and I don't know if we've ever seen a JRPG release schedule as stacked as the one that we're going to be getting next year. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.